All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay. On March 5th, 2012, a viral video was uploaded onto YouTube that affected the lives of the over 89 million people that viewed it. Now, everybody had different reactions to this video. Some people were confused by it, some were indifferent to it, some were upset. But the majority of the people who viewed it felt a sense of activism brewing within them that they never knew they had. And this video is Coney 2012. Now, I'm sure many of you have seen it. Some of you are nodding your head yes. So, as you know, there's been many different reactions to this video. But for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm going to give you the summary of its contents. So basically, it's about a rebel group in Uganda, the Lord's Rebel Army, who is led by a man named Joseph Kony. And he's known for kidnapping young boys and putting them in his army to fight against the leader of Uganda, and taking the girls and putting them to sex trafficking and sex slaves. So it's a horrific act that he's doing, and it's undisputed that what he's doing is horrible. His organization rose up against the current government of Uganda and its leader, Yoweri Museveni, who had overthrown the previous ruler before him. Not many people have had the opportunity to meet Kony. However, a journalist by the name of Matthew Green, who wrote a book called The Wizard of the Nile, had the opportunity and said that he met Kony. He was a very paranoid man. He wasn't too fond of meeting strangers. He didn't know how people would react to him at first. But as he got to know him, he saw that he was actually a very charismatic person. And he was a great public speaker, which is often a quality that people see in rulers. A lot of people, you know, whether they're good or bad, you always have a leader who's charismatic and is a good public speaker. So the narrator of this video and the founder of the organization Invisible Children, Jason Russell, has dedicated his life to stopping Kony and his rebel army, and this video is kind of his life's work in 30 minutes. So you're getting a good piece of him, and you can see that in the video because he's showing a very personal side to him. He has the birth of his son in the video, he has a very close friend to him in the video as well, so you're seeing all different sides to him. So, but alongside in that video, he does have pictures of the atrocities that are going on in Uganda. And you see that contrast between his adorable little son and those horrible images that are taking place there. And it's just to show you the severity of the issue and to show you that we're kind of living in an ignorant bliss. We don't really know what's going on there, and we take what we have for granted. However, all the pictures, stories, videos, tapes, whatever he's accumulated in that video can really cloud our judgment to analyze the situation more than what we see. He does use a lot of emotion, and that kind of blinds the viewers as far as looking deeper into the situation. Because it's not really a situation that can just be solved with their easy solution of hanging up posters and wearing bracelets and sticking bumper stickers on your car. It's much more complicated than that. So the Coney 2012 campaign will not directly help Uganda in the long run. However, it's a good way to spread the awareness. This video is a blatant call to emotions. There was no subtlety about it. For those of you who watched it, you saw it. The audience didn't really get to create their own views right off the bat because they were so beat with these emotions, they couldn't really react any other way. What they're dealing with is a major international issue and not one that can be handled lightly. So there are several moments throughout the video that the author shamelessly uses emotions, and one of these major scenes that's very profound is the scene where the narrator, Jason Russell, asks his son, Gavin, he sits him down for a chat and he explains to him the situation. And his son is around 4 or 5 years old, and he shows a picture of their friend Jacob and a picture of Kony, and he tells him that this man, Kony, gives little boys guns and sends them to go around shooting and killing people, like your friend Jacob. And then he asks him, how do you feel about the situation? And the little boy responds with saying, it's sad and we should stop him. But the language Jason Russell uses leaves that boy with no other option but to feel that way. And obviously he's not going to go into depth with the 4-year-old boy, but he's doing the same thing to the rest of the viewers that he's doing to his son. he's giving them such a blatant feel of emotions that this is an absolutely atrocious act and we must take action now, without really looking at what the consequences of those actions might be in the long run. And it's often when you see something like that, you want to be the humanitarian and take charge and go ahead and make the world better for that environment that the person's living in, because you feel bad. But you can't always just jump without looking at what you're jumping into. You have to analyze the situation that you're going into, which the video didn't really give us an opportunity to do. It makes us feel unhumanitarian and cold-hearted if we don't feel sad for these people and if we don't want to help out right away. But we have to put into account that this is a major issue. There are international laws that are being violated. Coney is a man that has been wanted for many, many years. And it's hard to say that we, as average citizens who didn't know about this problem 30 minutes ago, can go in there and take care of it ourselves. So at the end of the video, basically Jason Russell explains that what the campaign calls for is, donating to the cause and getting your action packet and painting the town with Coney posters and spreading awareness. And the point of that is so Congress people can see that the people do care about this cause and that they can go ahead and pass legislation to send more American military into Uganda. So at the end of the day, it's calling for American intervention in Uganda. And the video tries to play it down by calling them advisors, so it doesn't seem so harsh, but it is still American military intervention. And this solution isn't really one that's best for the people of Uganda or for ourselves. Policymakers, when they're being harassed by any issue or lobbied by any issue, they're going to go ahead and give the people what they want immediately, because policymakers care about being reelected. Any politician does. So they're going to go ahead and cater to the needs of the people, so the people will vote for them into office. But what happens after they get elected? Are they still going to care about the cause? Are they still going to check up on them? Probably not. Because there's issues like this happening all over the world, whether you like to see it or not, but it's happening, and there's many lobbyist groups who are trying to get Congress to fulfill their needs as well. And this phase for them, this Coney campaign, is just a passing ship for them. Once they get the votes for them, they might not really care what happens in Uganda. Okay, we've got the troops there, then what? What's the solution after that? So that really isn't ideal for that situation. It's just they're going to do what they need to do to stay in office. But as far as caring about the cause, it's not necessarily the case. And you see this all the time. Large lobbyist groups always get what they want from politicians. That's why AARP, the largest lobbyist group in Congress, always gets their demands. Social Security never gets cut, never Medicare, nothing like that. And also AIPAC often gets what they want as well because they're the second largest lobbyist group in Congress. So looking at sending troops into Uganda could possibly be dangerous for us because we're looking at billions, possibly trillions of dollars, depending on the severity of the issue. And that's a hit that our national deficit cannot take right now. But also, look at the lives you're putting at stake. It is a war zone that you're entering into, and you're sending more troops there, but you already have troops elsewhere in the world that aren't done doing their mission there. So thinking about sending other troops elsewhere probably isn't the best idea. But let's say they do decide to send troops there, and even if Coney is captured or arrested, is that really going to end the LRA's dominance in Uganda? Probably not, because like any major organization, he has successors, and those successors know exactly what to do in case he gets captured. They can disperse their tribe, or they can try new tactics. They'll do anything they can to stay in power. And we've seen this before. Did the capture of Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda in the Middle East? It didn't. There was less press coverage about it, so a lot of us think that it subsided, but their presence is still pretty strong in some regions of the Middle East. So a powerful organization does not end at the capture of one man. And we've seen this over and over again. But an alternative approach, instead of sending troops down there, might be encouraging the people of Uganda to rebel. Because history has taught us that when the people rebel directly against their oppressor, they're 10 times more successful than when they have a foreign government go ahead and rebel against their oppressors.